After Sonoria's performance, Danciel was seething with anger. That song she'd performed had publicly denounced his claim while condemning his followers and calling to action those against him. At the same time, it threw the oppressive actions of Danciel and his following into everyone's faces. He was doing his best to assure all who had grown suspicious that it had merely been a performative song to commemorate. However, there were a few who weren't quite convinced. Luckily, not everyone had caught on to the true meaning of her actions. Spotting Sonoria re-entering the banquet hall from the gardens, his chest tightened with that possessive feeling. She'd altered his dress, and though it had angered him, Danciel found his gaze roaming her figure hungrily. Mentally shaking himself, he stormed through the mingling members of the hidden societies to grab her arm. "You're coming with me," Danciel growled, his tone low. Inwardly, his instincts relished in the contact, craving more. But he shoved the feeling aside as he dragged her out of the banquet hall toward the large, ornate mirrors they'd used to teleport earlier. "Oh no," Sonoria said, her tone sarcastic, a knowing smirk pulling at her lips as they stand between the two mirrors. "I'm about to be punished, aren't I?" "You think I'd let you get away with that little stunt?" Danciel hissed, his tone harsh as anger surged through him. "You put my entire organization at risk with your little song. Of course there will be consequences." Sonoria only let out a low, knowing chuckle in response. There was something sharp about her chocolate gaze that made a heat pool in his gut, unsettling Danciel. This woman threw him off balance, and he both relished the feeling and hated it, all at once. Back at Castle Dragonia, Danciel dragged Sonoria down the hall. Opening a pair of elegant doors, he shoved her into the lavish bedchamber he'd chosen for her, the room decorated in light colors and elegant furnishings. "Not so rough, Shelley," Sonoria drawled with a light scoff, her tone deliberately teasing. "We haven't reached that stage of the relationship yet." The words made a growl of possessive anger rise from his throat. Why did he want such things from her? The thought of her flushed and defiant, pinned beneath him, made a heated desire coil in his abdomen, a feeling he quickly shoved aside. "Do you think this is a joke?" he growled in irritation, taking an intimidating step toward her. Sonoria wasn't frightened in the least. If anything, she looked as though she'd expected this somehow. Before she could open her mouth, however, the sound of music rang out from the nightstand next to the large, ornate bed. The lyrics of Catharsis by Motionless in White filled the room, and Sonoria's expression became awkward. It was her cell phone. Danciel cursed inwardly at having forgotten to take it from her before walking over to slam the drawer open. Picking up her phone, his eyebrow raised in questioning as he showed her the caller ID. "Who is Simple Honey?" he asked, his tone giving nothing away. Suspecting who it was, Danciel felt an irrational pang of jealousy. "Oh, please don't answer that," Sonoria whined, looking away with a look of distaste that seemed to confirm his suspicions. "I'm not," he said simply before holding the phone out toward her with a wicked smirk. "You are." "No, the fuck I'm not," Sonoria protested, as if offended, but Danciel didn't miss the slight panic in her gaze. It sent a wave of satisfaction through him to have caused a crack in her usually composed facade of confidence. "You are," Danciel drawled, his tone almost mocking. "Or I'll answer for you and tell him you chose to leave on your own." Sonoria gritted her teeth in irritation, making his smirk widen as she snatched the phone. "Put it on speaker," Danciel commanded. "I want to hear every word." Sonoria shot him an irritated glare, but did as she was told. "Laura! Laura! Where are you?" came a gruff man's voice from the phone's speaker. Sonoria's eye visibly twitched. "I'm fine, Brighton," she bit out irritably. And I told you not to call me that anymore. My name is Sonoria. Danciel felt a pang of curiosity. So it wasn't just an alias. She genuinely goes by the name Sonoria Nighthope. Interesting. Don't be ridiculous, Ryton protested, sounding frustrated. That's your name. A pause. Where are you? I'll come get you. Strange. The man wasn't even asking if she was hurt. Did he not care? The thought sent an inexplicable anger through Danciel, and he clenched his fist to keep it at bay, listening intently to the phone call. You can't, Sonoria replied bluntly. I'm not coming back. That sent a flicker of surprise through the Dragon King's mind. Had the relationship been that bad? The stories she'd written described an unhappy relationship in which she was neglected, trapped, and treated as a mere convenience. How much of that was truth, Danciel wondered. What? Ryton asked after a long moment of shock. What do you mean you're not coming back? What about our relationship? Our son?